Welcome to another video on the word up, where we look at all the meanings of the word up when they're combined with other words. There are so many, and C1 English, C2 English, IELTS 8, IELTS 9 speakers need to know these advanced uses of up. Here's the first one in this video. When up comes after a verb, it can mean invent. Look at the children in the corner. They made up a story to trick their parents. In other words, a story which was not true. Parents, have your children ever done this to you? Or children, have you ever done this to your parents? So make up means invent, but it's something that's not true. Come up with is slightly different because come up with is simply inventing an idea that you have about something. For example, perhaps this person is worried that they don't have a plan, so they say, we need to come up with a new idea. Invent something new. It's not false, it's just something different. Dream up also means invent, but sometimes this is not realistic. Maybe you have a boss who has lots of new ideas. You don't like this one, so you turn to your colleague in private and say, the boss dreamt up a plan. I don't think it will work. In other words, it was invented, but perhaps not realistic. Up in some phrases can also mean appear. Show up can be used in a negative tone to mean appear in a place. Why didn't you show up at the party? This really means, why did you not go there? Why did you not appear? And it can have a negative tone. Why didn't you show up? That word up at the end can make it sound like you're being a bit critical or harsh. But in other contexts, show up does not have a negative tone. It simply means, can it be seen? Look at the shirt here. What do you think? Does the stain show up on my shirt? It looks like there is a stain on the screen, doesn't it? And here it simply means, can the stain be seen? Turn up is to do with the time that you arrive. You turned up very late. In other words, you arrived late. There's a possible negative tone. We normally use turn up when perhaps we weren't expecting it, or when it was later than it should have been. But in essence, turn up means appear somewhere. You can also use up in some phrases to mean move something up. For example, uproot is when a tree falls over and the roots appear. The roots have come out of the ground. So if the tree was uprooted by the wind, the roots came out of the ground because they went up. Uplift. We feel uplifted by the good music. Does this happen to you? Does music make you feel uplifted? And here it means our mood went up. We felt better. Upbeat is similar to uplift, but upbeat reflects how you're feeling in general, not just the effect that something has on you. So I'm feeling upbeat today. In general, I feel better. My mood is good today. I'm upbeat. You can also say you're an upbeat person, which means your mood is generally up, is generally in a good position all the time. Up is sometimes used to mean change position and, of course, in the direction of up. So if we say move up, then you change your position up. For example, the tennis player has now gone into the top 10 in the world, so the tennis player moved up the rankings after their win. In other words, now they are in a higher position. If you go up, you change position again in an upwards direction. So if your city has a building with really good views at the top, you could say this: let's go up to the top floor. It has an amazing view. In other words, go in an upwards direction. And climb up means go in an upwards direction, but here you're using physical effort. For example, they climbed up the mountain. They climbed in an upwards direction. That's the end of my series on the word up. Make sure you watch all of the videos on this word up because there's lots to learn. It may seem like a small word, it may seem like a simple word, but it's not. And it's a really good way of expanding your knowledge of English and also a good way of showing people that you can tell the difference between in the small changes of how words collocate or combine together. So watch all these videos, watch other videos from me on these prepositions because these prepositions in English often change their meaning depending on the word that comes before or after. And you need to know them if you are going to get to an advanced English state. So click on the video in the box to watch another video containing phrases in English that you need to know.